Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you're a senior living on a fixed income, or maybe you're caring for someone who is, you are absolutely in the right place today. We're diving straight into a massive, and I mean literally life-changing, overlooked opportunity. Right now, there are government programs out there that millions of seniors are completely missing out on. And it's not because they're hidden deep in some fine print, but honestly, it's just because they aren't widely advertised. So, we're going to unpack exactly how you can access these funds to secure your financial survival.
Let's anchor this right out of the gate with one incredibly crucial number, $400. That is the average monthly amount eligible seniors are currently leaving right on the table. When you do the math on that, that translates to a whopping $3,600 to $6,000 every single year. Now let's be clear, this isn't a loan, and it certainly isn't charity. It's money designed specifically for you.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the fixed income squeeze, reveal 5 hidden benefit programs, walk through some real-life success stories, and then wrap it all up with a step-by-step action plan. Plus the critical mistakes you definitely need to avoid. All right, Section 1, the fixed income squeeze. Let's talk about the reality of the situation.
Look, if you're feeling stressed about money lately, I want to validate your everyday reality right now. The data shows that about 80% of seniors over 65 get some form of Social Security benefit, and the vast majority are living on a very strict fixed income. So on one hand, you've got this fixed income, right, with Social Security averaging maybe around $1,400 a month for a lot of folks. And that number, well, it stays pretty flat. But on the other side, you've got the relentless rise of basic living costs. Groceries, utilities, healthcare, they just keep getting more and more expensive. And because you can't just easily go out and pick up an extra shift to earn more money, you end up having to cut back. Maybe skipping meals, delaying home repairs, or even avoiding the doctor. But listen, it really doesn't have to be this way.
Moving on to Section 2, 5 hidden benefit programs. These are fully funded programs legally designed to give you some relief.
Let's cut through all this bureaucratic alphabet soup so you don't get lost in the weeds. There are really 5 main categories you need to keep on your radar. First up is SSI, or Supplemental Security Income, specifically state supplements, which can add anywhere from $50 to $300 extra a month, just depending on where you live. Second is SSDI, which is for disabled workers. Third, we have tax benefits, things like the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Saver's Credit. And yes, even retirees can qualify for these. Fourth is direct assistance. This includes stuff like LEHAPE to help with utility bills and Medicare savings programs for healthcare premiums. And finally, number 5, veteran benefits, like the Aid and Attendance Program for those who served on active duty and their surviving spouses.
Now, I'll tell you, whenever we talk about these categories, the exact same doubt always pops up. Am I even eligible for this? It is hands down the most common hesitation. And honestly, a little bit of pride often holds millions of seniors back from claiming their rightfully earned money. You might be sitting there thinking, well, I own a home, or I have a tiny bit of savings, so I'm automatically disqualified, right?
Well, here is the absolute most crucial thing to remember. Don't disqualify yourself. Really, let the government do that if they're going to. Remember, these programs are absolutely not handouts. They're benefits that you paid into through a lifetime of taxes and hard work. You are likely way more eligible than you assume, mainly because things like your primary home often don't even count against your resource limits.
Let's dive into Section 3, real-life success stories, because we need to see how this actually looks in the real world.
Let's meet Robert. He's 72, living up in New York. Now, Robert gets $1,600 a month from Social Security, and that's his entire income. Because he owned his home outright, he just naturally assumed he made too much or had too many assets to qualify for any government assistance. But meanwhile, property taxes and utility bills were totally draining his strict budget, leaving him with practically zero safety net for emergencies.
But here's what's so incredible. Robert had no idea that New York provides an additional state supplemental payment right on top of federal SSI. By simply filling out an application for his state supplemental program, boom, he unlocked an extra $300 every single month. To put that into perspective, that is $3,600 a year of his own money suddenly freed up to fix his car or handle medical expenses without all that crushing stress. Okay, next up, let's look at Patricia and James. They're a couple in their 70s, bringing in a combined $2,800 a month from Social Security. They were actually doing okay, but as winter started rolling in, the skyrocketing cost of heating their home created this terrible financial squeeze. They were desperately just looking for a little bit of breathing room. So, Patricia did a bit of digging and applied for LEHAP. That's the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, which covered their winter heating costs.
But she didn't just stop there. She also applied for a Medicare savings program to help cover their Part B premiums and deductibles. And together, these two hidden programs freed up $250 every single month that Patricia and James were previously paying straight out of pocket.
Finally, let's talk about David. He's 68, a widower living on his own, and a Vietnam veteran. David was barely scraping by on just $1,450 a month in Social Security. And since his military service was literally decades ago, he had absolutely no idea that it still offered this incredible, completely untapped financial support for his current stage of life.
Well, when David applied for the VA's Aid and Attendance Benefit, which is a program for seniors who occasionally need some help with daily living, his income got a massive boost, an incredible $450 a month. That bumped his monthly income up to $1,900, which was a real game changer. It finally gave him true financial independence to occasionally hire some help for the yard work or even just take his grandkids out for their birthdays.
All right, Section 4, your step-by-step action plan. Here is exactly how to start claiming your benefits today. So, let's break this down into a simple, highly actionable 4-step process. Step 1, head over to ssa.gov and get your documents together. You're going to need to know your exact current income and have your ID handy. Step 2, research your specific state programs and LIHEAP. Remember, a whole lot of this money is entirely dependent on which state you actually live in. Step 3, apply promptly. Just pick the program that gives you the biggest benefit and get that application submitted. And Step 4, follow up in 30 days. Look, government agencies are massive bureaucracies. Do not let your application just fall through the cracks. Be proactive.
Now, if all of this is starting to feel a bit overwhelming, please take a deep breath and know that you do not have to navigate this bureaucracy alone. There are amazing, completely free resources out there designed specifically to advocate for you. The Area Agency on Aging is a fantastic local resource. They actually have specialists who will sit down and help you fill out these applications. Also, the IRS VITA program provides free tax help for seniors to claim those overlooked credits we talked about, so please reach out to them.
Finally, Section 5, mistakes you must avoid. Let's make sure you don't stumble right at the finish line.
Okay, pay very close attention to these top mistakes. First, like we touched on earlier, disqualifying yourself. Just don't assume you make too much money. Let them tell you that. Second, giving up after just one denial. Listen, a denial might literally just mean a caseworker made a typo or maybe you missed one piece of paper. Always ask why and appeal it. Third is misunderstanding monthly income limits. If a program says the limit is $900, that is usually a monthly limit, not an annual one. And again, certain assets like your house might not even count. And finally, missing seasonal deadlines. Programs like LIHEAP often have strict fall deadlines for winter heating. So mark your calendar right now so you don't miss out on an entire year of help.
I also want to be incredibly transparent with you here. This explainer is strictly educational. Program rules, income limits, and benefits, they change all the time. So always verify your eligibility with official government sources like Medicare.gov or your State Department of Human Services. And most importantly, listen to me on this one. Never, ever pay someone to help you apply for these government benefits. If someone is asking you for money just to file an application, they are a scammer. Legitimate help for this is always 100% free.
So we have covered a ton of ground today, right? From the harsh reality of the fixed income squeeze, all the way to state-level SSI supplements, tax credits, and VA benefits that could put an extra $400 in your pocket every single month. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Which of these hidden government programs are you going to investigate today to claim your share? Please, don't leave your hard-earned money on the table. Make that phone call to your area agency on aging, check your state's website, and take action. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one.